Hey, this is a live show from the Porterhouse Temple Bar. Service could be kind of hit or miss. We could have some drops in signal. We're doing our best internationally. Make sure that you stay to the end. Forgive us for the technical errors, but enjoy the content. Doug Rohan, Vince Chiarelli from Rohan Law, of course, my co-host Richie Barnes here, chatting all things Noles. We are almost 24 hours from kickoff. Enjoy this content, Noles, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, we are live at the Porterhouse. I've got Doug Rohan here. Sorry if it's a little bit loud. Maybe I'll play with the audio once we get up and rolling. But Doug, I see your clown nose. You're ready to go for game day, eh?
We are all set for game day. We'll be there for the first 30 minutes. Make sure you tune in. Check out what the plan is. We're not going to stay for all 3 hours because we got better things to do. But we have some ideas on how we're going to start off the show.
People can still register. If they're here in Dublin, they can still register for what you've got going on, right?
Look, what I'll do is I'll put a WhatsApp link in your comments. Go ahead and put join our group for the WhatsApp. I'll send you a video right away of a plan on what we have going on, and then you'll be all set for 1:30 local time tomorrow.
Doug, tell me about your time so far here in Dublin, man.
Man, it has been amazing. There aren't any bad pubs. There aren't any bad places. Everybody has been very, very cooperative and great hospitality. So far, we've checked out Galway. We've checked out Cork. We've checked out Limerick and Adair. We went and had dinner in Bunratty Castle. And for all those people that planned to show up the day before the game, I feel very sorry for you because there are flight delays. There are interruptions. And I know more than one people who have not been able to make the trip because they were just planning on showing up on Thursday for a Saturday game. And unfortunately, there's only so many flights and so many ways to get to Ireland. So I was glad we showed up a week early, and we're excited for the game tomorrow.
How do you feel about the game? I know we have you on for a lot of legal stuff. Take off the law hat for a minute. You're allowed to be all garnet and gold on this. Yeah, there you go. How do you feel after several Guinnesses or quarters that we've had here in the Porterhouse?
Sunshine.
How do you feel?
It's 2:30 in the afternoon here in Dublin, and this is at least my fourth, so I'm feeling great. But look, there's a reason why Saban is watching and observing the Florida State practice today. It's because they've got some things that they're going to put together. I think DJ is going to get coached up by Mike and Tony Tokars. I think we have no problem making a 3rd and 6 for a first down. I feel like, the 38-10 recommendation that I made earlier in the week is going to hold serve. I think the defense is going to be strong, and I think the offense is going to be, not mid-season form. So we might underperform a little bit on that 38-10, but I do feel very comfortable that the offense is going to score some touchdowns. The run game is just going to be too strong, and our strengths match up to their strengths, and our strengths match up to their weaknesses. And I just feel very good about what Florida State is going to do to Georgia Tech tomorrow.
Man, there's so many questions about DJU or the wide receivers, this, that, and the other. What I've seen, and you can say whatever you want about David Hale, he rated their defensive backs as last in the conference. And so, for all the questions about wide receiver, all the questions about DJU, you've got a kind of an unbiased guy, or maybe a guy that even slants away from FSU a tad, saying that Georgia Tech's defense just isn't really up to par. And so even if it does take some time to get that offense rolling, there's probably not another defense in the conference that you'd want to be going up against week 0 in Dublin. Doug, any kind of final thoughts on the game? And then I want to ask you a little bit more about Dublin, and we'll get my guy Vince on here.
Yeah, look, the first half score is going to be close. I wouldn't be shocked if the score at halftime is 17-10 or maybe even 10-7. Maybe we're 10-7 down in the half. But what we're going to do is we're going to have these 75% of our plays are going to be run plays. Georgia Tech is going to stack the box. And then we're going to do play action in the second half. Screen passes to Toa Philly. It's going to be when Cam Davis comes in the fourth quarter and he's fresh because he hasn't used any of his legs and the defense is worn out, they're not going to want to stop a bowling ball. and Cam Davis is just going to cram it down their throat in the fourth quarter, and there's going to be a backdoor cover.
I like it. Florida State trailed against LSU at halftime last year, and I know some of you out there were biting your fingernails, sitting on your thumbs, worried, and then scored like 45 points. So just get ready for that second half onslaught. To what Doug
Very similar.
Doug,
Very similar.
I appreciate you so much. All the any parting thoughts? Any final thoughts on Dublin? Just your trip, Rohan Law, whatever you want to talk about. Give you a little bit of time to get out.
Look, this is only the second time that this game is sold out. Last year, Notre Dame sold this game out. I would not be surprised if Florida State is invited back on this trip. And I would strongly encourage all the Noles who are sitting home with FOMO right now to start saving up their money because I have every expectation that Florida State will be asked to do this again. And you will want to come on this trip. This has been, we've been to the LSU games in New Orleans. We've been to Notre Dame. And even though that, you have to add a zero to the travel expenses, this has been one of those exceptional family trips. And I would just encourage any Seminoles who are watching that they need to join if we get invited back to this game again. It's been fantastic. Lots of history, lots of friendly faces. And these pubs are unmatched. This is better than any night you spent at Bullwinkle's or Poor Paul's. There's nothing like hanging out with Noles over here in Dublin.
It's been a ton of fun, man. Thank you for spending some time with us, man. We'll certainly see you around, and go Noles.
Go Noles.
I'm going to go straight from Doug to the other room. I got Vince Chiarelli, Garnet, and Vince. Thanks for standing by while we had Doug on. How's your Ireland trip been so far, man? How you doing?
No, that's fine. The trip's been great. We got in late yesterday, and we went on some tours yesterday, saw some of the countryside, Wicklow Mountains. There's knolls everywhere. And I had to get that kind of serene, calm thing done before what's happening right now, which is just a lot of drinking and a lot of war chant and a lot of go Noles.
Yeah, man, it's cool to see FSU fans just take over not only this bar, the Porterhouse Temple Bar. Appreciate their hospitality, but also just the city. It feels 10-1 out here, Florida State Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it does. I heard a story a little bit ago that someone thought it was flip-flopped, that it was Georgia Tech 10-1, but that person happened to be staying at the Georgia Tech hotel. So that was the reason why they felt that way. It is not that way. It is literally everywhere you go, walking down the street, and every bar you go to and every cafe you go to, it's garnet and gold. Sometimes you see some green, right? Sometimes you see some green, but it's mostly garnet and gold.
Big shout out to Madge, though. I love the t-shirt. But yeah, you're right. My wife asked me when we were out in the town. She said, "Are you gonna say Go Noles to every single person you see?" I was like, "Yeah, you better just buckle up until we get back to Tampa. Like that's just what's gonna happen." So, hey, how are you feeling about tomorrow? How are you feeling about the game?
Yeah, believe it or not, there's a game tomorrow, right? The game is, I think the game is going to go pretty well. I'm pretty confident in the game. I think I predicted the score to be 38-21. I just think, we've got the depth of talent. We've got a running game that is going to travel well. We got a defense that's going to travel well. And even if we have a couple hiccups in the passing game, I don't know that it's going to matter that much.
Yeah, the one thing I never worry about, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. The one thing I never worry about with a Mike Norvell coach team is how they come out, right? How they start games. They always start games very well, even games we've lost. Think back to Georgia Tech a couple of years ago. You think back to Clemson. You think back to, God forbid I even mentioned the Orange Bowl, but the game was 7-3 after the first start. They start games well. Now, do they sometimes blow games? Do we lose games late? Every once in a while, for sure. I don't worry about the start at all. I don't worry about, it's week 0 and everybody's locked in Dublin. Like, I expect the Noles to get off to a good start. And then the game will be, can they sustain? Can they play a good game for 4 quarters? If they do, I'm kind of like you. I expect them to go win going away. But the start of the game is something I never worried about under Mike Norvell, and really haven't in all 4 years.
Yeah, I mean the problems we ran into in the past, we just didn't have the bodies to maintain throughout the course of the game. So you would always see the game start really well and like, oh, we got something going here, but then the depth of talent just wasn't there at the time. And I think now we have that. And so, they're always prepared. They always seem to be locked in. And, there are going to be some mistakes or two. Sure. It's like the first game of the season. So you're going to see that. But I'm not worried about that, that part at all. And the fact that the depth of talent that we've accumulated in the last year or two, I think we're going to be able to sustain and probably expand the lead throughout the game, maybe short of a touchdown late, when you have some third stringers in. I mean, pie in the sky. I'm in Dublin. I'm drinking a lot. This is what I want to see. Mike Norvell, make it happen.
Yeah, no, enough Guinness has been drank to where you deserve a blowout at this point. So
that's right.
Garnet Old. Tell folks where they can follow Garnet Old, where they can find you, where they can watch the show. You guys get that on a lot, but it's a great job. Tell the folks about that.
Sure. Garnet Old, it's at Garnet _old. It's my buddy Ryan and I. We are just fans. Our moniker is no inside info, no contacts, no problem. We just talk Noles, and we have a lot of fan interaction. We have a show every week, Thursday nights, 7 p.m. It's a live show, and we have quite a bit of stuff coming up this fall too. A lot of pregame shows, postgame shows. We have a couple of live events at Fishweir Brewing Company in Jacksonville. And so we've been doing our show for about 3 years now. So we'd love to have everybody come on over and watch, subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff. Like, subscribe, notify. You know how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're you guys are going to be there in Jacksonville for that watch party, some other stuff too. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, I'm going to link Garnet and Old in the description. I'm going to tag them. Do me a favor and go subscribe to their channel. They do a really good job. Make sure that you're showing love to other Noles. Vince, I appreciate you for your time. Get back to the beers, and I'll leave you alone.
TJ, thank you so much for you and Doug kind of coordinating this thing. Doug's coming by here and giving me a clown nose. Just to see that there. But thank you so much. And hey, go Noles, and we'll see everybody at the pep rally here with the Chiefs in about an hour.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Go Noles.
Go Noles. All right. I'm gonna go from my guy Vince to Richie. If he comes over here, Richie's getting the love. He's getting all the high fives, getting all the fans. You out of here? Yes, go to the pep rally? Yeah. I'm going to head that way as soon as we're done. So, all right, we got Richie in here. You got to come a little closer, I think.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm not going to make that joke, but the viewers can pretend like they knew what it was. How you feeling? Couple beers in?
Yeah. Been a long week so far. Don't feel like I've slept much at all. But, here we are in Dublin. I've been here for a couple hours in the city. Been here for about an hour and a half. And it's been a great start to the day.
My guy got off of we never do a podcast in person. Like, this is one of a few, if ever. Usually Tampa and Orlando. So my guy got off a plane that was delayed, of course.
Yep.
Because everybody that's been here has been delayed at some point. More delays in the UK, I feel like. But like, I got off a plane this morning. We're walking out of the house as he's walking into the house. He's like, "Hey man, I got to go shower." Like, we're not coming with you just yet. So, but made it. The Porterhouse, the Temple Bar here, great time. We did a full preview show, so we won't spend super long on this. But man, have your thoughts, have your mind changed at all about the game, or what are you most excited to see?
Not really at all. I think there will be some first game nerves, maybe a little bit, but I don't think it'll be nerves as much as it's going to be, the team. This is a new team playing together. This is a completely different team from last year with a few key pieces coming back. But I think that's going to be really interesting to watch. And also seeing how Georgia Tech handles an environment like this. I was coming from Scotland this morning and easily 50 Noles on the plane that decided to spend the first half of the week out there and come here. I know there's a ton that have been trickling in throughout the week.
we did see a few Georgia Tech fans. They were very nice, so shout them out. However, this is going to be similar to a home game for Florida State. I know we talked about Georgia Tech having the Irish player, so maybe they get some support. But I think a European country that has all the pageantry that soccer has, when they hear that war chant and they see the tomahawk shop, I really do think they're going to fall in love. And you're going to have some drunk Irish guy just over it because it looks like fun. And Georgia Tech has nothing like that. So I think it's just going to be a fun experience. I drove by the stadium earlier, or Ubered by it earlier. Disclosure. And yeah, I'm just more excited for the experience right now than the game. Come tomorrow when I wake up, it's game mode at that point.
Yeah, I was talking about getting antsy for the game when we talked on Wednesday night, and just wanting the game to be here. And I very much want the game to be here, but I am enjoying the city. I'm enjoying the get-together. Again, we had well over 100, 150 people, so come here and hang out with us. Doug Rohan was here. Garnet Nold was here. So the atmosphere, the environment, the culture, the vibes, as people say, right, has been phenomenal here in Dublin. And so I agree. Like, I want the game to get here. Don't get me wrong. Love if it was tonight, but I guess I'll settle for 20,000 Noles fans roaming the streets of Dublin.
Just taking it all in. Walking down here, our Uber driver, traffic was horrible coming in at the time we got here, so we just hopped out and walked a block and a half. All we could see was Noles fans. I don't even think I saw a Georgia Tech fan. I know some are here, and there would probably be a few thousand of them, but not like what Florida State travels. We've seen it in New Orleans. We've seen it in big road games.
Orlando.
I don't put as much credit in Orlando, but I do put a ton of credit in selling out a stadium across the pond.
Yeah.
And this game, it may or may not have sold out with Florida State in it, but it's a little different. That's Airlink is going to corporate sponsors saying, hey, can you buy up 5,000 tickets for me to distribute? It's not a true sellout, which I truly believe this game was. The only other team that came over here and has done it so far is Notre Dame, and that makes perfect sense. The Fighting Irish, huge fan base, biggest fan base in college football. And pretty much every single one of them has the means to get over here for a football game.
Yeah, it has been a guard. I remember hearing this, and I don't remember who the TV guy was to say this, but it has been a garnet and gold coronation. Like, it is just garnet and gold everywhere. Again, I don't know if it was Doug or Vince or who said this, but if we come back, come do this. Like, come do this. We announced this a year and a half ago, so you had 18 months to say, get over here and do this. If you're here in Dublin, man, I know you're having the trip of a lifetime. So, all right, what was your final score from Wednesday? Have you come off that at all? What do you think?
I don't even remember what the final score was. I came up with it on a whim. I think it was in the 31 to 20 range.
27-20. You had a close
27-20. Yeah,
I
did have Georgia Tech
to bump that up.
That's right.
I had enough beers to bump it up.
I have not.
Well, we need another round on me.
If I were to change it, I might even go 24-20.
Oh,
I still feel good about a Florida State win. I really have a feeling this game is going to be closer. I think it's going to be a fourth quarter game with an opportunity to kind of blow it open to get to that 34-20. But will they take advantage? I don't know. There's just so many unknowns with this team. We know a lot about the players from previous stops where they played and whatnot, but we don't know a whole lot about this team. I think we could learn a lot about them this week, and that will give me a lot more confidence moving forward. If they played a tune-up game and did well and then, beat a SMU or someone, and then they played this game out here in Dublin, I'd probably feel very confident, maybe a 14, 17-point win. I just don't know what Georgia Tech's going to be, and I don't really know what this version of Florida State's going to be.
Yeah, it's wait-and-see mode, but we ain't going to have to wait too much longer.
No.
We'll be in there in just about 24 hours. Richie Barnes, TJ Pittenger, we had Doug Rohan, we had Vince Chiarelli on. Listen, Noles, do me a favor. Hit the comments right now. Give me your score prediction. Let me know where you're watching the game from. I know some of you are here in Dublin. I know some of you are back in the States. I want to hear where you're watching the game from. I want to hear your score prediction. Hit the comments right now. Let us know. Hey, Ciante, is that what they say? Ciante?
I have no idea.
Close enough. All right, go Noles.